What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Fit Black Guys, the podcast all about everyday health and fitness. I am TJ from Addictive Fit.
And I am JMurph with OFBG Fitness.
And today we're going to be discussing overcome intimidation or anxiety, or as we're going to coin the term, gym, what do you say, Gym-Timidation?
Yeah, just kind of merging it. I feel like I saw that on like a old Planet Fitness commercial. That Gym-Timidation.
Gym-Timidation. I don't know, it's been a minute since I've
You remember
seen
when they used to do like the original commercials where they had like the
pick,
bodybuilders and
yeah,
it was like
I picked things up and I put them
yeah.
down, something like that.
Did you familiar with Kali Muscle, right?
No, I'm not. Oh, yeah. I am.
Yeah, he was like one of the original like people that was like the first commercials that they used to have.
Uh-huh.
He was like one of the meatheads.
Was he? You know what? And I
Yeah.
think this was before I even really got into it. So,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But
Now I'm gonna have
so
to go back and look them up.
that's a different story for a different day as far as their methods.
Yeah.
They don't shame you, or they say no judgment, but they're judging bodybuilders. But
That's a fact.
moving on. How's your week been going?
It's been going good, man. I've been I don't want to say stuck at the house, but I've been at the house. The again, COVID rears its ugly head. They had a possible exposure at um my kids' school.
Mm,
So I had to quarantine them, keep them home, and of course I had to stay home with them. So I made the most of the time while home, um, doing some training with them as far as like schoolwork, teaching my youngest sight words, how to read, and then on top of that, just trying to be productive in my own training and training here at the house and starting new programs, working on new programs for March, just working ahead. So it's very productive. How was yours?
pretty good overall. I have been kind of dealing with a little bit of a hip injury situation.
Ooh,
Yeah, man, it's been pretty rough. Like right now, it's not too bad, but there's certain things I can't do as far as like rotating my hips, things like that.
yeah,
And normally by the time I kind of get moving around, it's a little bit better. But
mm-hmm,
between going to get my normal adjustments with my chiropractor, as well as doing some different exercises here just at home.
yeah,
That's been helping as well. The other thing I've felt I've kind of needed to do is to kind of lay off some of the heavy lifting for a while.
mm-hmm,
To just, if I do go to the gym, I'm using mostly machines. If I do free weights, it's relatively light to
yeah,
moderate, nothing heavy. So that's been a challenge, and that's it's funny. We had an earlier episode, and I don't know if you touched on this specifically, but just how sometimes when you kind of get knocked off your routine, if you have something that kind of has gives you like a quote unquote nail in your tire, so to speak,
mm-hmm,
and that can kind of affect your mental.
right,
And I can't lie to you, man. It's been a challenge, but I have, in the blessing in it is that I have been forced, I guess you would say, to focus on more uh corrective exercises and things like that are helping me out. So I think that's a lesson that we kind of learned the hard way as
yeah.
far as just maintenance. So aside from that, Super Bowl today,
Oh
later on
yes.
later on today.
Who you going
I
for?
I picked the Chiefs to win. I can't say I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but I picked them to win. I don't really don't. I can't say I'm a fan of either team,
Right.
but I do feel like that offense just too much firepower, man.
So I'm going to, in contrast, I'm going to go for the Bucks. I always go for the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then on top of that, um, it's a Florida team, and,
Uh,
and you know, I have to go with the home state. So
Okay, I respect that.
and then I think I as much I tell you this, there was two quarterbacks that I hate the most. Tom Brady is one of them. But in this and granted, I think both quarterbacks are both are going to be future Hall of Famers. But I honestly have to I can't deny the greatness of Tom Brady. Tom Brady he's the GOAT. I have to give it to him. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, I never liked Peyton Manning, but I cannot take away the success that he's had in the NFL. If I can't take away from him, I cannot take away from Brady. I can't take away from Breeze, nor can I take it away from Aaron Rodgers. So,
I feel
but
that.
but
I feel that.
Brady, as in a from a championship caliber, and then the fact that he left New England and they had him stuck inside of it. They had him stuck in a system where they made it feel like if him being able to perform outside that system, it wouldn't work for him. I feel like this is the time and for him to prove all naysayers wrong. So I think Brady is the GOAT, and I see him walking out with his sixth championship.
Okay. Now I got a ton of respect. This is closer to the tail end of his career. Not saying he's going to be retiring this year, but as his career starts to kind of wind down and come to an end, I've kind of gained a certain respect for Tom Brady. It's almost like the God rest his soul, the Kobe Bryant situation, and this is even before he passed away. Like that last year when he was retiring, and my brother, I can tell you right now, my brother is not a Kobe fan, but he just knew like when he was getting ready to retire in that last game in Utah and it was over with. Even my brother was like,
Gonna be a curtain closer right there.
dang, I can't even hate. I ain't got nowhere to hate on no more. I ain't got nowhere to,
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I think it's gonna be I hope it's a close game. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's not a rout in either direction.
Right.
So
yeah, I think this gonna be, and then I like the storyline as well. You know what I mean? Now you got a Super Bowl, and you got a team that is going to be playing in their home stadium the first time ever in NFL history.
Yeah.
And I would like to see them actually win it
that would
in
be
their home stadium. That I like the storyline of that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And then last thing before we get into the topic is the kind of the I'm not gonna say passing of the torch, but kind of the changing of the guards.
Yeah.
You have like your Tom Brady, certified Hall of Famer at this point, and then Patrick Mahomes, who and I agree with you. I feel like at this trajectory, he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame once his time is up, for sure. So it'll be an exciting game, I hope. So I'll be tuning into it later on this evening.
Yep.
But
let's get to it.
Let's get into it. All right. So once again, today's topic is overcoming Gym-Timidation. So let's first of all let's kind of break down what that is and what that can manifest itself into the gym. So for me, one example that I think is super common is the individuals who are hesitant to go with using like free weights and using just strength training in general. They find that they're comfortable on the treadmill, on the elliptical, on the bike, and they stay in a particular area of the gym out of, like I said, out of fear of just the unknown. So I think that would be an example of it. But I think just in a nutshell, it's just a fear of the unknown. You don't feel comfortable in that space. You don't feel comfortable taking on certain forms of exercise.
Yep.
Because of, whether it be fear of judgment, fear of hurting yourself, and just put different things that you put in your head.
Yep. So that is typically the factors of gym intimidation, or the anxiety is just that unknown, or that fear of being embarrassed if you're doing a an exercise incorrectly, or even on some of the machines, not knowing how to properly use it. We've seen the videos across social media where you have individuals in the gym using machines wrong, and just having that fear of being judged because you're doing something incorrectly, or you not knowing what you're doing or knowing how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you typically will find those individuals sticking with cardio based, the things that they recognize, the treadmills, the ellipticals, um, and not wanting to venture out in utilizing some of the strength building machines, and utilizing the free weights.
Mm-hmm. So I think in conjunction with that is you have the like when you go into the gym, you have your cardio equipment that's kind of in a certain little sector,
Mm-hmm.
but the free weights is it's like an open space.
Space. Yep.
So it's like kind of being like a pet,
Mm-hmm.
that's in like a glass, like a snake, like a pet snake or a pet hamster,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just visible to everyone around you.
Around you. Yep.
So then that anxiety creeps in that, oh man, they're looking at me, they're gonna be judging me, they're gonna be, so that those things I think are things that also creep in as well. Is just even if you do know what you're doing, just you feel like maybe because you don't look the part, so to speak, of someone who has been working out
Mm-hmm.
for a long period of time. So you may know how to use some of the equipment, but you're seeing someone else that's in the nearby vicinity, and they ripped up, they swole up, or they leaned up, they
Yep.
trimmed up, and you're looking at it like, oh man.
Yep. That comparison, that comparison thing is a killer, or it's definitely plays on your anxiety, because of the fact that if you're lifting next to someone, um, and taking away what the body comparison, but just looking at what they're lifting, or looking at what they're doing, what I mean. You may feel like, well, I don't think I can lift 50 pounds, 60 pounds in a shoulder press, or incline chest press or whatnot. And I'm gonna feel silly if I go grab these 30-pound dumbbells, or these 25-pound dumbbells, and do the same exercise. I don't want to be seen doing that, because it's gonna make me look weak, or feel weak.
People feel like it's almost like with comedy, how you have like, say like you're going up on stage, but before you go up, you have the comedian that's he just tore the stage up.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let him be like anyone of notoriety, whether it be like let's say like a Chris Rock. Let's say you got to follow Chris Rock. He just, so you already like, so it's like in your example, you want to use the bench. It's somebody right next to you that's lifting, they got 365 on the bar,
Mm-hmm.
or with the bar, and you about to put your 245s on there. You about to put your 145 on each side, and that's your like equivalent of that as far as like the difficulty level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh man, I can't be sitting next to this dude. He got 345s on each side with another couple of 25s. I got these 145s on each side. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just machine press is fine.
Yep.
So things like that I think creep into and we talked about this, like with when you comparing yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the another thing that can lead to a lack of doing that. So one other thing I think is sometimes the to your favorite part of social media, the fitness folks who like to
Yes. Doing the most.
doing the
Doing the
most.
most.
So you got them dudes that they do something like let's say they got like a bar with 45s on each side, They got a step box on the side. They got a medicine ball on the next side, and they do a whole little superset.
Mm-hmm.
They did some cleans, then they hop over the box, then they do spike the ball, which, it's nice to look at. It's tough to do. Don't get me wrong, but somebody looking at that is like, yo, I got to do all that to
Yep.
to get in shape. I got to do all that.
Yep.
So sometimes you get, when you get a glimpse of people who are doing these very complex movements, again, it could be crazy.
Yeah, it can definitely deter someone who might have want to get in the gym, or
Yeah.
trying to find a starting place, and then you see someone like
I
that.
think one more piece of that can also be some of the myths that have kind of filtered out into the world that people may not know have been debunked. Prime example of what I mean by that is, women with strength training.
Yep. Yep.
I don't want to look manly. I don't want to look, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It could be the same thing with a male, a stronger, let's say a dude has a lot of muscle who's he's kind of poo-pooed the idea of doing like yoga
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Sometimes that misinformation, it may not be a direct form of intimidation, but that's just one of the things that can fester in as well. Sometimes when you have a perception of what the outcome would be of participating in a certain activity,
Mm-hmm.
then that's another thing that can deter you from doing it. So I think that's one of the things that I think we do as well is we tell ourselves a story to give us an out to not do it. So a woman who says, "Oh, strength training, uh, I'll look like a man if I start lifting weights," without taking the time to research that and see that has been debunked
Mm-hmm.
on thousands of occasions. But just once that you see that and you've accepted that as a reality. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so before we get into like some of the solutions, um, you have any personal experiences that you wanted to share? That
Absolutely. Because I think I mentioned this before.
Mhm.
When I first started off, and my on my fitness journey, you know, I've been in a gym before, but it wasn't so much like a commercial gym. Being in the Navy, you have your gyms, but I can't say that I was a avid weightlifter, and I didn't so much utilize cardio machines either. Um, but when I first got my first membership, had everything in place. I got off work one evening, got off watch, and told my wife, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and stop by the gym before I come home. I'm gonna just start doing something. And then I pull up in the parking lot, and I'm like, oh man, it's a lot of cars out here. No, I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I ain't gonna even go in because I honestly, and I'm gonna tie this into when we start talking about our solutions to that. But I honestly didn't have a clue what I was going to do. You know, I was like, okay, I'm going to the gym. And when I went, I was like, yeah, I'm not about to go in there and have all these people looking at me because I don't even know what I'm doing. So I need to go in there when nobody's in there. I need to be in there when it's not packed, so I can figure this out. So
yeah. So my situation is somewhat similar. I've never wanted to. Well, in general, I'm not a huge fan of crowds.
mm-hmm,
So if it meant that I would have to get up at 5 a.m.
mm-hmm,
and not have a lot of people with eyes on me, I was willing to do that
mm-hmm,
before I was gonna go at 5 o'clock in the evening when it's packed to the T.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because as you're kind of in your I guess you would say the journey part, even though I mean destinations always going to change, but in the middle
Yep,
of working on yourself, you're especially when you're kind of at that ground zero level,
Yep.
you know, you just kind of don't feel that level of confidence yet to kind of be around people and conversing with people. One of the things that kind of helped me out though is I ended up kind of chopping it up with a guy that when you typically go around the same time of day, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of see some of the
The
same
same
people.
people. Yep.
So you start to kind of build a relationship, and that was a tremendous, I think, aid for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we'll attach that to some of the solutions here shortly. But for me, my main thing was just I just didn't want to have uh, attention kind of even directly or indirectly centered on me in my brain, even if that wasn't the reality. Because truth be told, like now that I work out consistently, I don't be watching nobody. I don't be caring about that.
Yep.
So, and I feel like that's kind of a large majority of people. Like no one really is like looking at you like that, but in your brain, you kind of created that perception that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, so it was similar for me in that aspect of just wanting to kind of grind in the dark, if you will.
Yep. I'm with
So
you.
that was always my thing, and I think that was something that if I had a situation where I had to end up working out in front of a bunch of people, back then I probably would have been like,
No. Yep.
nah, I'm
Yep.
cool, I'm cool.
Yeah. Cause I'm right there with you. I'm that guy that don't take his shirt off
Yeah,
in the locker
exactly,
room, or I'm the
exactly.
one that gets in the pool with his shirt on.
Man, I used to when I finished working out, like it was even to like the point where the gym I was going to when I first was working out was relatively close to my house, and I would just go back home and take a shower. I wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
take my shirt off. I just grab my stuff, get in the car, drive home, and I just take a shower at home. I ain't taking my shirt off. I ain't.
Yep.
Nope, nope, ain't happening.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man. So I think those are experiences that people. That's another thing as well. Like I didn't even think about that until you just said it. People like because they know when they got to go in the locker room, they got to take the clothes off, and just
Mm-hmm.
that's a vulnerable thing, especially like I said, going back to the comparisons thing. You seeing a guy or a lady, if you're a woman, of course, you know, they got they six packed up,
Yep.
legs definition, nice back,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got your muffin top or your fupa or whatever, and it's just like go to hell.
Yep.
Go to hell. So and those are the types of things that I think people do deal with,
Yep.
especially even now, even now. And so let's talk about how we can rectify some of these things and how we can overcome, as the title suggests of the episode,
Yep.
how we can overcome gym-timidation. And the first thing I think would be to consider a private studio
Yep.
when you're looking to try to work out. They
Mm-hmm.
typically have, now they may be a little bit more expensive, but they're typically smaller. If you have a trainer, if you decide to take on a trainer that's one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
now you knock out the eyes on you. Excuse me. You knock out the eyes on you. You also address the I don't know what I'm doing, because now you have a professional.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think that would be one of the things that I think people would want to, you know, consider if they're having anxiety issues with people's, worried about people looking at them.
So one of the ones I would think that I would suggest is something's that I did and something similar to what you were um, saying earlier. But I will go during off peak hours. So give you a time. It gives you the time to first get familiar with the equipment if you're going to use equipment. Get you familiar with the layout of the gym, because that was a thing that I had an issue with, is really not knowing where everything is, not knowing what I wanted to use and what I wanted to do. So if you take the time and go during um, the off peak hours, the times where the gym is not crowded, gives you a chance to kind of get a feel for the gym, get a sample. A lot of the equipment, depending on the type of gym you go to, a lot of the equipment have the instructions on how to properly use the equipment. You can also you if you utilize your research, do utilize the internet and use it as a resource. You can go and Google and look up, if there was a focus area, you can look up different exercises in the machines, and how to properly use them. But most machines do have the instructions on how to properly use the machine. So you can take that time and learn how to use the machine. And then they also have staff that is available that you can ask the staff on how to properly use the machines. I think it's just a matter of just coming out of you gotta step out of your comfort zone a little bit and know when to ask for help. But if talking and crowds and all that stuff is um, a problem or causes anxiety for an individual, I definitely would go during a time when it's not busy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I also think another solution, believe it or not, would be to sign up for a class. And
Yep.
when you sign up for the class, a lot of times they'll tell you, hey, if you're if you're a newbie or if you're not as experienced with the class, just kind of hang to the back.
Mm-hmm.
You hang it to the back, you don't really have eyes on you. In fact, you have eyes on everyone else in the front. So you can kind of hang back, kind of get your confidence with doing the class.
Mm-hmm.
And then you may, as you continue to go to the class, what do we talk about? Community. You
Yep.
start meeting people, you talk to people, they see you coming, they're giving you encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to continue to boost your confidence, and you're gonna feel more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in those settings. When I did the first time I did a hot yoga class, the instructor, that's pretty much what she said. She either said, hey, if you're not, if you could look at some of the, she had the more advanced people kind of sit in the front, and if you weren't as advanced, you kind of either just sit in the back or sit to the side. That way, because there's not like a lot of one-on-one she can give you when she's doing a class. So she'll say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, just watch some of the people that are in the front, and you kind of see what their poses are, kind of see what they're doing, and you can use them as like a cheat sheet, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. So, I think that was one of the things that really helped me when I was doing it, is the fact that I was able to, uh, you know, see what other people were doing when I wasn't sure about the poses.
Mm-hmm.
And, those things can help you out as well. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one I would suggest is to plan your workout in advance. When I started out, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't so much have a plan. I just know I wanted to be bigger, or I wanted to gain muscle, but I didn't have an actual plan. So if you
Mhm.
have a plan, it actually will help you boost your confidence a little bit, because is people actually think you know what you're doing. You'll even believe you know what you're doing because of the fact that you took the time out to actually plan. So
Yeah.
that's what I think. Um, I think that's crucial to anything really. It's just having that plan ready to go.
Yeah. One more that I think was actually, and this kind of depends on the person,
Mm-hmm.
is to, uh, oddly enough, kind of be yourself. If you're a fun person and you like to have fun, find a way to make lifting weights. Try to make it fun, and you can be like, let me give you an example. Let's say you got the big dude that we're talking about. So the big
Mm-hmm.
guy, he's lifting, he's doing his set, and he's doing the bench press. When he finishes his set, walk up to him, say, "Hey, bro, let me know if you need a spot in the next one." Just, be,
Yeah.
just something like that. What's gonna happen? He's gonna laugh. You're gonna
Yep.
laugh, and you have a small a cordial rapport. So now the big dude's not judging you no more.
Yep.
He's now you guys. It's like just a minor thing in passing, but it's fun. It's cool. It's innocent.
Yep.
And just certain things like that.
I like
Again,
that. That's a good one. That is a real good one.
Because I think one of the things that people may not realize is if you kind of just talk to people, and I'm not saying like you got to have like a full blown conversation because people are working out, they don't want to be too disturbed. Yep. But a quick comment in passing, just a quick, you know what I'm saying? Those things are just little trinkets that can kind of break that stigma in the room of thinking that people are going to be judging me. People are going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's a good way to kind of break that down. It's a good way to, you know what I mean? If you see somebody lifting up, two more, just something in passing. They may do the two more. They wouldn't go. They may not have thought about doing it.
Yep.
Now they're going to do it. And, you just take that opportunity and you kind of control the temperature of the room.
Yep.
And not saying you got to go to every single person, bothering them, but just, break that vibe that you feel is in the room of everyone's just going to be staring at each other and pointing fingers and judging each other. Because it's not really like that.
Yep.
It's not really like that.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
It's all in our heads.
Yeah.
It's all in our heads.
You just put stuff in our heads. We put stuff in our heads and hell, who knows? You may say something like that. All of a sudden y'all start chopping it up. Then you can ask some questions. So now the dude's like, okay, man, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? He gives you some sound advice. He gives you some good information.
Yep.
And then if you keep coming and working out, and he's seeing you, making that progress. I see you. Hey, bro, I see you. I see you. You've been working. You've been, people can tell if you've been coming to the gym for a while. They say, hey, bro, I see you've been putting in some work. You've been doing your thing. So the environment, I don't think it's not as harsh as I think people think it is sometimes.
It's all in our heads. It's all in our heads.
Yeah, sometimes we create stuff. So
I'll give you one more.
Okay.
And this is if you can do it. Some gyms have their like membership control. But just bring a friend with you. Take somebody with you.
Yeah, workout buddy. Yep.
Yeah, take somebody with you. Or even after you get over your Gym-Timidation or your anxiety, still take someone that might be going through it themselves.
Pay it forward. Yep.
Take them and show them how to do it or how to get over or how to, help them feel comfortable in an environment that might be intimidating to them.
Yep. That's perfect. Yep. Pay it forward. So I'm 1,000% agree with that. It's always good to, when you've overcome something, especially in that space, help someone else kind of get over that. And because you can speak from experience. You're not just talking. Just say, hey, I was me. I was where you was at.
Yep.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So good things, good solutions. We hope the listening audience, we hope you guys take some of those into consideration because, sometimes the real culprit is up here. The real, the nemesis is up here. So you just control your mind, control your surroundings, control your environment, and that intimidation a lot of times is just smoke and mirrors.
Absolutely.
So,
well, that'll wrap up this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in to Two Fit Black Guys. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at 2 Fit BLK Guys. You can follow me, TJ, at fitness_leader_TJ.
And you can follow me at OFBG Fitness on all social media platforms.
All right, brother. I hope you have a good week, and let's see who walks away with this.
Do you have a score?
Do I have a score? No, we did this during the NBA. I'm about to say.
No.
You're not about to fool me. I ain't finna do another 25 burpees.
I told y'all, no, I'm injured. I'm injured, doc. So ain't no No bet this time. Just I got 24-17 as the final score.
24-17.
Yeah,
And that's gonna be in favor of Chiefs. Okay.
yeah.
Man, this is gonna be a good game. The secondary for Tampa is garbage. Um, I'm gonna say 35-28 Bucks.
Oh, you got Brady. Oh, you got Brady. And that thing out. You got
Yes.
okay. Well, no wagers this time. Just just some predictions.
Yeah.
So, I just hope But like I said, I just hope that it's not a blowout in the beginning, and
Yeah.
it's So that's my thing. If it's a good game, whoever wins, they win, and that'll be that. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you all for tuning in, and we are out of here.
All right. Peace.